Hey team, what's happening? It's me, Liam, after a long time away. Just really been busy, and you've heard that a couple of times now. It's just been a mad end to it, and I wish I could have filmed bits and done a vlog and all this stuff. I've just really not had time. I've not even had time to watch AEW Dark, but I made the time this week. So this is After Dark, where we take a look at what the guys and girls are doing on AEW Dark and what they could potentially do to propel themselves to the main roster. When I look at Dark, I usually say my best hot takes are the ones that I don't come in with, they just come to me as I'm watching. And this week I felt it was about charisma and the it factor and the X factor. Not the team from the early 2000s, but just that intangible. Maybe not intangible, and maybe something that we can create, but I think there's gaps in places. So I'm going to pick a couple of matches that I saw this week on Dark that I felt like highlighted this best. The Dark Order trio match, the three lads that they were against. I felt like Andrew Palace really had a good showing for himself. He was memorable, he had really good facials. He had a spot where he used his hair, and even if I hadn't remembered his name, I would have remembered that hair spot, even more than the stuff that the Dark Order did. But on that front, his teammates, Spencer Slade, has a really good look to him. He looked in good shape. But then there was nothing else about him. I didn't feel a connection out of him. And the partner, Cole Carter, this is all coming off the top of my head as well. I don't have any notes. So if I get people's names wrong, I apologise. I'm pretty sure Cole Carter just got beat up through it. Now, if he's early days and this is just to get him match reps in, that's pretty cool. My early days were in Stockton-on-Tees at the Rose Bowl in front of 9 people, but, this lad's early days are in front of living legends in the agent box and on a program that gets hundreds of thousands of viewers. It's different walks of life. I don't care. It is what it is. So if he's getting those reps in, that's fine. But again, I've seen him a couple of times and I've just gone, I don't know who you are. Next match that I'm looking at, these are in no particular order either. Dante Martens and Aaron Fry, who I always spell as Aaron Fire, but it's definitely Fry, unless I've got that wrong. For me, Dante Martens, this is a really good opportunity for him. His brother, I would say, was the stronger of the tag team. And now, unfortunately, he's been injured. But this gives Dante that time to really solidify himself as a wrestler, find his feet. Who exactly is Dante? I thought his gear looked amazing. I thought it was a great step up from the weird mask hood thing that they couldn't unzip. So that was a great move. He wrestles really well. I love the fire that he's got. On the flip side of that, Aaron, it cuts to him on the outside and he sort of goes, almost like he's at a party and someone won't put the phone down and won't stop doing Instagram stories. And he's like, I'm so over it. Yeah, I'm here. Go on, tag me in it. Bruh, this is a wrestling match. You are on a major promotion and I don't feel like you're asked. Now, sometimes people are cool. And they're just like, man, this dude is cool, or this girl is cool. Didn't really get that feeling. I felt like he wasn't asked. And I felt that right through the match. Whereas with Dante, I feel the emotion and I feel the passion that he brings with it. And he's literally just going, right, how can I tap into these feelings? It's not about the moves, it's about the feelings. And I feel like Dante Martens does an excellent job on that. Match number 3 that I'm looking at is Chris Statlander against Julia Hart. Now, Julia was teamed up with the Varsity Blondes earlier on in the show, and I felt like that actually was a missing piece of the puzzle, the Varsity Blondes, that I didn't recognise. But they're college athletes, and she's a cheerleader, and that makes sense to put them together. And I hope with that extra bit of the puzzle, they can finally start to gel. I also feel that's more of a Griff problem than it is a Pillman problem, that I don't think Griff has gone full hog into the team. Like I always say, you gotta go full hog into the team. On the flip side of that, when it came to her match against Chris Statlander, for that, I was like, okay, I can see it. You've got the horn, megaphone thing. It's not a megaphone, it's like a cone gimmick. But then in the match, I just didn't get a feel of her being a cheerleader. Okay, so something with this. Why is it that anybody that has a gymnastics background, there is a wrestling being that's like, oh, So you've been a gymnast. Well, I guess you better do a handspring back elbow into the corner. I hate it. I hate that move. Because you'll lose momentum on the backflip. They always land, and then it's a really awful back elbow. I wish it would go in the bin and left. I really, really struggle to think of people that execute it well, and the back elbow actually looks effective out of it. But for some reason, every gymnast has to do that. But I felt like Julia could have done with like a couple of moments where like she really highlighted like, hey, I'm a cheerleader, this is the gimmick, and maybe it might be a bit cheesy and it might be a bit hawky of like, okay, let's go, as like something in the match. I hope someone cuts that out because that was ridiculous. As like something in the match, but I think sometimes you have to go hawky to put that character across, because when you don't, you just end up as someone that's just in a cheerleader outfit. On the flip side of that, Kris Statlander. I really like Kris Statlander. I think she's got a great look to her. I think she wrestles well. I think she wrestles really differently from all the rest of the women on the roster. I think she's got a ton of potential in her. I feel like this gimmick is evolving and will evolve over time. At the moment, I'm a bit like, is she an alien? Or does she like aliens? And they seem to be saying that she is an alien. But she's not an alien. She's a person that has face paint on. And goes, boop. I don't mind that. Boop. I think that's fine. It's a little bit of fun. But don't tell me she's an alien when she's not an alien. Now, Abaddon, I can totally see that. She's like supernatural. She's completely out of this world. Yeah, totally. Everything about her screams that. For Kris, I'm just a bit like, she's got face paint on. And that makes her an alien, apparently. Anyway, I feel like at some point what's going to happen is that when the time with the best friends and Orange Cassidy is done, Kris Statlander is going to turn heel. And this is me pitching this idea. So, I mean, AEW management, if you want to watch this and take this idea, go for it, because I think it's money. Comes to a point where there is a breakup of that team, and she turns on Orange Cassidy. And then with that, Kris Statlander and Orange Cassidy go into a feud together, intergender. And I think there's not many people that I would suggest that for as a feud on mainstream American TV. But I think those two characters, with how impressive Kris Statlander is as a physical being, and with how subversive Orange Cassidy's character is, I think you could play those against each other. Then she drops the I'm an alien character and goes down a different facet out of it. And then later on down the line, once that feud is over with and they're going to turn her back face, because I do feel like she's a face and she could carry the belt really, really well as a strong, dominant face champion. But then later down the line, there's an angle where like they're in Florida and the JFK Space Center. I'm pretty sure that's a thing. I might have just made that up. But yeah, the John Kennedy Space Center, right? And someone's there and they're like, space is dumb. And then Kris Statlander comes out of nowhere with a toy rocket and just slaps him with a toy rocket. And she's like, space is really cool. And then that's her face turned back again. Like, how can you boo someone that has slapped someone with a toy rocket? You can't. So, AEW management, if you're watching, that's a booking idea for you. Kris Statlander needs to go through that evolution of character, which she will get there. So there's no rush out of that. If anything, I wanted to take time to get to that, to prolong her career out. And then final match that I'm going to talk about is Willow Nightingale against Diamante. Willow, I've seen a couple of times on GCW shows, and I've always been impressed with her. And I was even more impressed with her in her showing on Dark this week. She has a great look to her. Head to toe, there is a through line of character that just fits. Every single bit of it fits. She's a great person to look at and be like, hair, face, body, gear, all come into one package. She has a great ring presence. She has great facials. She moves well. I felt everything that she was doing. I was watching her. If AEW don't sign her, I think they're making a really big mistake, because I think she could be an incredible talent to have as a strong face that, you know, is just really likable. So I'm glad that she's getting that opportunity, and I hope that she does get signed. Again, on the flip side of this match, Diamante. I like Diamante, and I'm glad that she gets the chance to now be a singles wrestler, because that tag team was just... So I'm glad that she's getting the opportunity to do that. Now, my problem with Diamante is that she comes out and she's like, brap, 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 here I am with a bandana and I'm... boom, guns. And then in the match, and this is a regular occurrence in Diamante matches that I find, I lose her. Like, I'm watching and I'm like, hang on a minute. Where's Diamante in this? Like, I lose that character. And I feel like if you're coming out and you're like, boom, I got guns and I kill people and I'm a badass and like, oh, step to me, gang signs, then that needs to stay prevalent in the match. And I'm not saying that she needs to be like, I'm a psycho killer right through this match. She needs moments of intensity, and then she needs cool moments where it's like, you can't touch me, I've got a Glock in my shoe. I don't know. Sorry, this is me being the whitest dude in the world. And I lose that from her. And I think that is Diamante's limiting factor. Because she could go higher, but it's almost like she's self-conscious about... Good, I am recording. I had a horrendous thought that I'd not recorded any of this. She has a self-limiting factor into it, in that she has this cool gimmick idea, but isn't going full hog. And you gotta go full hog. Yeah, you gotta go full hog. That's the one. They're the matches that I wanted to talk about today. Couple of little final finishing bits out of this. Nothing will make me cheer for you less than coming out to the ring with a yoga mat and doing a downward dog. Matt Seidel. Mike Seidel. One of the Seidels. Mike Seidel. Okay, cool. Like, you like doing yoga. You're the yoga monster. But genuinely, I can't get behind that. I can't cheer you as a face. If we're watching wrestling, we're watching two people in a physical contest who want to fight and want to win. And then you're coming out and you're like, namaste. Mike Seidel reminds me of GTA 5 and the yoga instructor that bangs Michael's wife. I can't cheer that. I can't cheer this dude that's like, namaste, but I'm actually really sleazy. And I feel that from him. I get that vibe off of him. He's a little bit sleazy. Whereas Powerhouse Hobbs comes out, he's a big old unit, he's big and physical, he's crushed him with like some big old tackles and hits his cool like little finisher thing, like snowplow town business. I'm like, man, Powerhouse Hobbs is really cool. That's a wrong way that dynamic should be, but apparently I feel like I'm supposed to cheer for Mike Seidel, and I'm just not. So yeah, definitely don't come out and do yoga before a match, because you kill any vibe that I feel like you can win this match. And then, finally, I love the Acclaimed. This is an Acclaimed Stan account. Now with that, I'm not going to retract something I've said in the past. I'm going to put an asterisk next to it. I've said before that I think Max Caster is World Championship material, and I believe that, but I feel like the time without Anthony Bowens has actually highlighted that they both need each other, and Max needs Anthony in his corner. Without him, I feel like there's a little bit of a lost step, and I just never want the Acclaim to break up. I think I've been worried, or I was worried in the past, that Max Caster hits these raps and they are gold. And then I'm like, oh my god, like, he's going to do this gold on Dark that nobody sees, and then he's going to get onto Dynamite and he's going to flop and he's going to miss. And then people are going to be like, oh, Max Caster's not good. But genuinely, every single time he hits it out the park, and I'm just like, wow, this guy is on another level in terms of producing this rap stuff. Like, some of the vignette things that he's done in the past that have just been on Dark, I've gone, this should be on Dynamite. This is way more entertaining than half the stuff is on Dynamite, but it's just not being on for some reason. But anyway, with saying that, I feel like he needs Anthony Bowens there, and I actually feel like the two of them together are like New Age Outlaws of over. When they go to a crowd and they're coming out, when we get full crowds back, and Max Caster comes out to the ring and he hits the rap, and then Bowens takes the mic and he's like, AEW, the Acclaimed have arrived. That is literally going to be super, super over. Like, I think the New Age Outlaws could have been main event level talent in terms of a tag team together. It's just that WWE doesn't like main event level tag teams, but AEW does, and they seem to have a big investment in that. And I feel like the Acclaimed could be like headliners of a show together. That's not to write out Max Caster as a World Heavyweight Champion. I just think they'd have way more success together, and I just never want to see them break up, basically. With that, that is my all-over review of AEW Dark finished. As a final question, I have not watched Dark Elevation yet. Mostly because I've not really had time. I've not really wanted to. I quite enjoy Dark. I don't understand the structure of the two shows, because they feel fairly similar and fairly interchangeable, and I don't know why you would just have another 2-hour show that does the same thing as the other hour. Another reason why I've not watched it is because I love Excalibur and Taz on commentary. They just make the 2 hours fly by, and they have fun, and they make me smile, and I enjoy watching the show for that reason. Am I missing out on Elevation? Do I need to put aside another 2 hours to watch Elevation? Should I be watching Elevation over Dark? And the answer to that is no, because Dark's the best thing on TV or on YouTube. But anyway, beside the point. Let me know down in the comments below what you think about Dark Elevation. Do you agree with the points that I've made today? Is there anything that you would contest? Are you an idiot that doesn't believe that if someone gets hit with a toy rocket, then the person that's hitting them with a toy rocket is going to be an ultra face? I don't know. That was a bit bizarre tangent that I went on. Yeah, again, let me know in the comments down below if you've enjoyed this video. If you've enjoyed seeing my face again, give us a like, share the video, and subscribe to the channel, and all that algorithm stuff that I nearly completely forgot. I've been Liam. Hopefully, I will see you again fairly soon. Hopefully. Maybe. Anyway, catch you later. Have a good day.